The NCAA has banned 6 men's basketball players at 3 different Division I schools for allegedly rigging games. The players involved were attending the University of New Orleans, Mississippi Valley State, and Arizona State. Amanda Christovich is a reporter at Front Office Sports. Thank you for joining us. Now, these are all separate cases, but quickly, how were these players caught?
Yeah, that's a question that the NCAA doesn't really like to answer. But there are a couple different ways. Sometimes they get tips from other athletes who might be on the team that the NCAA investigates. Or in other cases, they actually got one of the tips, the Arizona State case, from a case they investigated a couple months ago with Fresno State and San Jose State men's basketball players. And a lot of this is literally just the NCAA says, hey, we need to investigate this allegation that we've heard about you. So let's look at your phone. And a lot of these are found through text messages of the players discussing.
Wow. Now, Amanda, there are a number of investigations right now into betting schemes at D1 schools. How widespread is this as far as we know right now?
At this point, we know that the NCAA has investigated about 30 current and former Division One men's college basketball players. And some of those players have been named. So I think we have about 9 players who have been named and found to have, according to the NCAA, committing these violations. 3 players actually at Eastern Michigan, who a couple weeks ago, the NCAA released a report saying they thought that they committed the violations, but the players didn't cooperate with the investigation, so they couldn't actually confirm it. So that leaves about 20 players. But that's all we know so far, right? The NCAA is not the only one investigating this. It's unclear how deep the federal investigation goes with the FBI probe that's also sort of looming in the background.
Now, Amanda, I want you to clear something up for me. Is this related to the federal probe into illegal gambling connected to the NBA?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mostly no. So the NBA probe that was announced a few weeks ago made it clear that none of the indictments at that point were related to college basketball. But there is one report, I personally haven't been able to confirm this, but there's one report that suggests that 2 of the people who were indicted in the NBA probe are also involved in the federal investigation into college basketball, meaning that they bet on college basketball games using proprietary information as well as NBA games.
You know, Amanda, point shaving, it's been around for decades, but it's one thing to
Mhm.
go to the casino and essentially do what you're going to do. It's another thing to have the casino follow you around with the
Mhm.
widespread proliferation of these sporting apps on the phones. So when you're talking about the legalization of sports gambling, when it comes to do to college sports, how widespread or how pervasive could this issue actually be?
I mean, I think it could be very pervasive and very widespread, especially because college basketball obviously is a much bigger sport than the NBA, right? There are more than 350 Division One college basketball teams, and keep in mind that most of the schools that we've named so far in this conversation are not, with the exception of Arizona State, power conference schools. They're not big name basketball schools, and so it's really, really hard to watch every single one of these Division One programs. And again, that's only men's college basketball, right? So I think that there's definitely been some success with the integrity monitors and the virtual ways that sports books are sort of like listening in to these bets and trying to make sure that any suspicious betting activity gets some sort of check. But there are just so many games, so many teams, and so many players who aren't really sort of in the spotlight.
Integrity monitors. Can you explain what measures are in place to try to prevent this from happening? And how much pressure is the NCAA under right now?
The NCAA is under a lot of pressure, but I will also say that unlike the NBA, the NCAA has been very clear and very upfront about how they've been against NCAA betting in college basketball, like pretty much from the get go. They have no deals with sports books, unlike the pro leagues. They are very against prop bets. NCAA president Charlie Baker has actually been on this like campaign trail to ban them, and he's been successful in a few different states. But as far as the integrity monitors go, everyone uses them, but the NCAA is sort of touted. There are these companies that use technology. I'm no expert in it, but they use sort of AI and technology to flag suspicious betting activity. So when nobody's betting on, sort of a small game, and then all of a sudden there's some really big wager placed on a game by an account that has never been active or hasn't been active in recent months. Like that's the sort of thing that these virtual monitors flag and then send along to human beings to investigate.
All right, Amanda Christovich from Front Office Sports. Thank you so much for your analysis.
Thank you.